Something about returning here makes me feel old, Wyn.
And what exactly are you implying, Alistair?
What? What? Nothing. No, I just thought...
You just thought I might be an expert at feeling old and could share some sage advice.
I just mean that I was a different person then. I believed him, you know, that it would be a glorious battle, that we'd win.
I did too. We were all a little bit younger the last time we were here.
Well, not you. You've always been old.
With lip like that, son, you'll be lucky if you live to be half my age.
Let me know when you're done glaring at me, madam. My memories of this place are no fonder than your own.
No. I remember good friends dying in this place, and a man whom I respected as my king.
All I remember is a fool's death and a hard choice. I'd make the same again.
Even knowing all that you know now, Logain MacTier?
Even so. Come, madam, our bitterness is better spent against the dark spawn than each other.
Yes, Maker forbid that I might waste a whole life's bitterness just on you. What's the matter, Alistair?
I don't know, it just feels wrong to find this here, poured over by dark spawn and thick with their rot. It was his.
I know, I feel it too. But he is not the first king to ever fall in battle, or even the first to fall to the darkspawn.
Yes, but this wound cuts deeper.
And it will bleed longer. But we must keep moving. No doubt the darkspawn are eager to give us plenty more reasons to mourn. How cold does the king's metal feel in your hands, Logain?
I feel nothing, old woman, and your constant prodding for regrets will gain you little.
And what if it had been your daughter in his place? Would you have regrets then?
Had I raised her to be such a fool as that, I'd have been in no better position to save her. What you forget is that your king was beyond saving. The darkspawn would either have had him or have had us all. Do you really believe we would have been so much better off had I chosen otherwise?
It is my belief that a man who ties his own hands behind his back should not cry foul that there is no one left to defend his king.
Judging by these documents, it's a pity we hadn't placed more trust in Orlais and less in the king's own father-in-law. So it's true. He had convinced the forces of Orlais to ally against the darkspawn.
Empress Celine was merely awaiting his response.
A response that never came, and now never will, thanks to Logain's treachery.
Never is a long time, Alistair. Give it time, and let cooler heads prevail. There will be peace between us yet.
Well, I hope you live to see it, Wyn.
And I hope the darkspawn don't.
Do you see the familiar tone with which the Empress writes him, as if he didn't already have my daughter as his wife? The man was a rat as well as a fool. The cheating bastard!
Watch your mouth, Logain MacTier, unless you have forgotten the company you now keep.
It's not my company I worry about, madam, but my former son-in-law's. Do you see the familiar tone with which the Empress writes him, as if my daughter were not already his wife?
Caelan loved Honora with every ounce of his heart. It was plain for all to see. The only thing that ever stood between them was you.
Are you blind, old woman? The plot is plain as day within this letter. Love or no, Caelan was going to cast my daughter aside and wed himself to that bitch Celine. In a single vow, Orlais would claim all that they could never win by war. And what would Ferelden gain? A fool of a king could strut about and call himself an emperor.
And what of peace? Would it not bring us that at least?
Peace. I would have thought your age might have granted more wisdom, madam. Peace just means fighting someone else's enemies in someone else's war for someone else's reasons.
It has been a long day. By the lines around your eyes, I dare say you look as old as I.
And if I may say so, milady, you appear to be getting younger by the day.
Be careful who you flirt with, young man. When you wake up beside me tomorrow morning, I'll be back to reminding you of your grandmother.
Beside you.
You heard what I said. It would not be the first time I woke to a younger man in my bed.
Are all women this evil and conniving when they grow old?
Just me, my dear. Just me. You've fallen silent, Loghain.
And I wish you would do the same, madam. It's been a long and wearying day.
On that, at least, the two of us can agree.
We are done here. Let's go home, and not speak of this again. There, that's the last of them. Whatever good you think they'll do you. This is a fool's errand. Do you see how many Darkspawn there are?
Come, the wind grows cold, and my heart colder. Let us make our vengeance swift.
You've got to hand it to the Darkspawn. They sure know how to make a place feel desolate and foreboding. I don't know whether to laugh or cry, but it's clearly Kaelin's. There can be no doubt.
There, another royal crest. That appears to be the last of the arms and armor Kaelin wore into battle. We honor him with their recovery.
Is that what we came here for? To speak a eulogy over every scrap of gold-painted tin we find? Your king is dead, and it's time you get used to that fact.
Oh, they left him here to rot. We need to do something. He was a good man, who hoped too much, and died too young. He deserves what little honor we can afford to grant him. He believed he'd go out as a hero. Hair waving, bright eyes blazing. This is not the ending he would have wished for.
He may be a fool, but he doesn't deserve to be strung up like this.
Speak your venom and get it over with, Loghain.
Sure, throw roses and wax poetic about how great a leader he would have been had he only not thrown himself on the swords of the advancing Darkspawn. My preference would be to throw him over the edge to be forgotten. Let him go down in the history books as just another casualty in a long and bloody war. Look at this. A Mabari hound still in its kennel and keeping the Darkspawn at bay. You can take the dog out of the fight, they say, but you can't take the fight out of the dog. It looks like you found a friend.
Poor fellow, stuck amidst the Darkspawn in the freezing cold. I wouldn't get too close. He looks about ready to eat your arm off. That's a good doggy. Go shed and drool over there.
Oh, look at the poor thing. He must be freezing. Quick, feed him some rations from your pack. Oh, can we call him Rabbit?
Ostagar. Yeah, looking a little worse than the surface usually does.
Ostagar beneath the Darkspawn. If you could not hold it, was it ever yours?
Ostagar. I've never been a big get-between-the-armies kind of guy.
This is Ostagar? This is what could happen everywhere? How have we had such trouble gaining allies?
Ostagar, where the king was humbled and the land taken by Darkspawn. Half a good idea, anyway.
Let's leave this wretched place to its ghosts and not return. History will write of it what they will.